Hello everybody, Incon here. Today we are going to be talking about the 5 most important items in Deadlock that you were not buying. These are going to be items that, depending on the hero that you were on, there's a good chance they haven't found your way into your kit yet. They can be a little bit different. They can be a little bit less impressive just right when you're looking at the stats, or a little bit different to build into. But we're going to be talking about those today and how you can start to get them into your builds to make your games go better. Starting off with number 5, this is going to be one of my personal favorite items in the last couple of patches, especially here on Lady Geist, and that is going to be Healing Nova. Now, Healing Nova is interesting for several reasons. One, it builds off of Healing Right, and Healing Right is one of the most commonly purchased items in the game at the start because it gives you so much sustain to help you stay in the lane. Some people like to get the extra regen and whatnot, but Healing Right in and of itself is the most single HP regen that you're going to get. You just have to kind of stand out of the way for a minute. So the reason why this is such an interesting item is because it builds off of Healing Right, which means you're actually already getting that 500 base gold from the Healing Right. So when you build into the 1250 Healing Nova, look at the stats on this thing. You get the 14% base health because it's that tier 2 vitality item, 12% weapon damage with 100 bonus health, 8% ability range, in 6 spirit power. All of those stats are good, and you could basically put that on any hero in the game, and they'd like it because it's essentially all the stats all at once. Now, the thing that makes it really interesting on Lady Geist is 2 different reasons. One, you've got the active portion, which is heals yourself and nearby allies. That can really help you trick people with her ultimate, whether you pop it just before so they get into range of her ultimate because they thought they were going to kill you and then you get enough time, or if you use the ultimate and then pop it afterwards, then you have even more health after the ultimate. Very interesting. Plus, it's got that bonus ability range, and when you combine the bonus ability range from Healing Nova, which you can get fairly early in the game, on top of the Mystic Reach, her Essence Bomb is a huge circle and a massive burst of damage. So make sure you are looking for that restorative locket in more of your builds. For item number 4, this is going to be a funky one that I bet you have not bought a lot, but I really like it on characters like Mirage, and that is going to be the Withering Whip. So this is a 1250 active spirit item. It is going to give you that 8 base spirit power, for being a tier 2 spirit item, 100 bullet shield health, which is fine, 6 spirit power, which is fine, but it gives you that 1 meter a second sprint speed. Now, sprint speed is a very strong stat, and it's actually pretty difficult to get outside of the legitimate sprint boots into enduring speed. So getting a little bit of extra movement speed is quite nice, but really why we're getting this item is because of the active. When you target somebody with the active, which is every 18 seconds at a 30-meter cast range, which basically means you can use it super easily, it applies a 45% fire rate slow, which in and of itself is quite nice for the 1v1, but it also reduces their bullet resistance. And because it reduces their bullet resistance, they become a lot easier to kill. And when you're on Mirage and you get your Scarabs, you can already reduce their bullet resist. And if you've got 2 points into Scarabs, then you're also getting the extra 10%. Now it's minus 20% bullet resist. And if you combine that with a bullet resist shredder, when you hit somebody with spirit damage, it reduces their bullet resist by 12%. Well, guess what? Now you've got 3 different ways of reducing their bullet resist, which means that everybody is going to be squishy to you. Fantastic item that you should start buying more on characters and see how you feel about it. Onward to item number 3. Item number 3 is going to be an item that you see most often on McGinnis, but also works well on quite a few other characters, and that is going to be Suppressor, which moves into Mystic Slow, which is really one of my favorite items on characters like Lady Geist. So what does Mystic Slow do? Mystic Slow gives you 140 bonus health, 3 health regen, 6 spirit power, and it gives you that 12 base spirit powder there for being a tier 3 spirit item. But this item, when enemies take spirit damage, their movement speed and fire rate are reduced. It's a 25% movement slow, which is a lot of slow. Slows in Deadlock are extremely strong, especially when you can infinitely apply it on some characters. On a character like Geist, you basically throw out your 3 and they're permanently slowed. On McGinnis, you throw out your turrets, and your turrets are going to be permanently slowing people. Very effective as well on McGinnis for against flying characters, for against the Vindictas and Grey Talons of the world. I hate that I'm telling people this, but those turrets will shoot into the air and apply that movement speed slow, and especially for a character like Vindicta, she's basically rooted in place at that point. Her movement speed in the air can get really, really, really slow when she gets affected by movement slows. So check out that Mystic Slow to ruin the days of your opponents. For number 2, we are going to be moving on to an item that you see a little bit. You see it on Warden in particular, but you should be buying it on Pocket and others as well. And that is going to be Veil Walker. Veil Walker by itself is actually a pretty strong item just from a pure stat perspective. 17% base health, 250 bullet shield and spirit shield, 15% weapon damage, and 15% ammo. Right off the bat, solid stats. Then, walking through a veil gives you stealth and increased movement speed. And the really important part, all your bullet and spirit shields are back. And this is on an 18-second cooldown, and that stealth lasts for 5 seconds. So this makes you incredibly fast when you go through a veil. And it makes it very, very easy to get next to somebody to gank. But the part of Veil Walker that's really strong, particularly on a character like Pocket, Pocket has minus 15% built-in spirit resistance, which means that spirit damage wrecks him. But if you buy a common item like a Hollow Point Ward, which gives you 95 spirit shield, and then you buy yourself a Enchanter's Barrier, which is 300. Now you've got 400 on top of the Veil Walker, which is 650, which means you can effectively get 650 spirit shield defense, then walk through a veil, get it all over again. You've got 1300 extra HP during that fight, which can really make the difference for a character like Pocket, who can get nuked on that spirit side. So make sure you're checking out that item. Play around with those veils as well. Make sure you know where they are around the map. Lots of cheeky plays you can make in solo with it, because it is veiled into the little area on the side that goes to the 2 boxes, which means running in and out of there really quick for the stealth and the bonus shields is very effective. And finally, the number 1 item that you should be considering in your builds that you aren't purchasing right now, that is going to be Reactive Barrier. Now, the reason why Reactive Barrier is at the top is there's an argument to be made for the other 4 items that you just buy them every single game on a certain character. There's an argument to be made. They are a little bit more situational, but there are certain characters that you might just pick it every single time in a build because the item is so solid right now. For Reactive Barrier, this is not really an item that you would buy every single lane in every single situation. So what does it do? 14% base health, 20% ammo, 75 bonus health, and 2 health regen. Then the passive automatically procs every 32 seconds if you get hit by a movement lock, stun, chain, immobilize, or slept. It gives you a 400 bullet health shield, 200 spirit health shield, and it restores 1 stamina. So this is the best item in the game for dealing with some of the most annoying characters. A character like Haze, who's going to sleep you and then come in for a punch to your face in the early game. Reactive Barrier essentially stops all that. A Bebop, who's constantly pulling you in. Reactive Barrier essentially stops that. A Paradox, who Reactive Barrier essentially stops that. You can see the theme here. It's an item that you want to buy dependent on your matchup. So if you're going against somebody that's going to hit you with a hard CC, whether it's a Mo who's going to hold you in place, a Bebop who's going to pull you, this item will help keep you alive in the early game. In the late game, 200 Spirit Shield health is not going to keep you alive. But in the early game, that's an entire ability that it's letting you eat to be able to then hopefully roll out and stay alive. I hope this has helped you find some new items to start trying in your builds and to hopefully help you live just a little bit longer and get a couple more souls. If you guys like the content, please subscribe over here on YouTube for some more Deadlock action. And of course, you can come join us on stream at twitch.tv/Incon, streaming 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday. And as always, folks, have a twitching day, y'all. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.